Today we're going to go over, it's kind of social media marketing, but it's going to be a loose conversation today, not a big presentation. It's just kind of a panel of people that I will be asking some questions of, and we'll be getting their responses of what they think works best for real estate agents today. So I'm Jerry Kay, I'm the managing broker at Best Choice Realty. And today we have with us Rachel Woodman and Lisa Schultz. They're our Chicago title reps. Rachel works up north and Lisa's down on the south end. And then from Best Choice, we have Candace Frazier and Rochelle Wilhite. And so this will just be an open panel of discussions, just real lighthearted. I'm going to ask some questions. I'll ask some questions pointedly to each of you, or I'll just say to the panel. And then whoever wants to speak up can do so. So we hope you guys enjoy this. And I'm sure there's so much content in here that I'm sure that you'll take something away from it that will help you with your business today.
And we won't be mean to you like a moderator, Jerry Kay. We'll be very nice to you.
Well, thanks. Yeah, not like the presidential debates.
Right.
We'll be nice to each other too.
Yeah.
Great way to use hashtags.
This is out to anyone. So which social platforms are being used by real estate agents? Could you share an example of someone doing a platform right? Anyone?
So from my experience, there's a lot of talk about using Facebook, Instagram as the main ones. I would say that overall, Facebook, I've been told has, and from my experience, has the biggest return for use. And I think the reason is that you can really balance not just photos and videos, but also multiple different types of content. And you have a larger range of different groups of people and age ranges that are using it right now. I don't know if I have an example to share offhand of who is using it well. Do you guys have any ideas?
Well, I'm happy to share. There's another local real estate agent who is down in the South End, actually out of Gig Harbor, and she's with Windermere. And I've always, kind of who you inspire maybe to be like, it's ideal. So following other agents that are doing it well, not to say that, it's perfect, but they're doing it well. And there is one agent who has used Instagram as her platform, and I really feel she's doing it well. Her name is Paige Schulte. And like I said, she's out of Windermere. And that's just a name that you could go in, take a look, follow her, and just kind of, see some of the things she's doing. She has a mixture of video, pictures, content, asking kind of that call to action for not just the people that she works with, but other agents in the community. So she's actually helping agents as well, which is also can be money producing. But she's one agent that I've followed, and I just love what she does.
Oh, I also have one up north, Candace, that I follow, and it's and as far as which social platforms, I would say, as much as I've gone to all these social media classes, I don't see any real estate agents using Twitter. I think that's not a platform that I would consider, but I've seen a rise in YouTube channels for real estate agents. I've seen that. Coldwell Banker has started to do YouTube and build their own channel and build their content around that. And I think that would be a good place if you're wanting to do video content. That would be a good place to have that social media channel and get followers or likes to that. But Facebook, certainly I agree with Rachel Woodman on the Facebook being the largest portal. I mean, it can be used as a CRM. I mean, I think Candace has shared a lot what she does as a CRM. By not even having some other portal, you're just using Facebook and your friends list as a way to connect with and build relationships with real estate clients in the future. So I would say definitely Facebook for me. Instagram, I'm starting to learn. I love the class Chelsea, is it Pites?
Chelsea Pites.
And she does a great job of Instagram. So if you want to follow her, she allows agents to follow her. and she kind of gives tips and tricks. I've been learning a lot from her on Instagram on, oh, go here or try this little add-on. And it's been kind of fun, but I'm still learning on the Instagram front. As far as the person I would follow on Facebook would be Nicole Mangina. It's Mangina. And the reason I like her, she is Kirkland and she really gets hyper local. So her Facebook posts will usually, it's not like overly done. It's just very relevant to her. She sprinkles in her personal life with her business life. And I think it's well done. And if I could, emulate some of the things she does on her Facebook, I would be much, much better off. So there's nothing wrong with following people and having them inspire you.
And to piggyback on that, just to give you an idea on Facebook, the latest statistics was Facebook's got 2.8 billion people using it. It is the largest one. And your demographics, your biggest ones are your empty nesters who are coming into it. So you've got to also look at the product. And I know that right now you're seeing people leaving Facebook, checking out, but it's still used as a resource of finding stuff. It's like, do you go to Facebook or Google first, right? And the other thing is know your audience with your social media, right? TikTok, Chelsea is telling us TikTok is there and it's going to be something coming up, but you've got to look at your target audience. I work through LinkedIn a lot and I do get high-end luxury title and escrows because of what I'm providing for LinkedIn. But if I was going to pick one media, LinkedIn unfortunately would not be it. I'd be in Facebook and work it like a magician.
Okay.
I think the important thing is that you pick one that you like or use a lot, and then that you post to more frequently. Because if you only do it every once in a while, you spatter it out to here, you put something on there 1 week, and you kind of lose the impact. So pick one that you love to be on all the time and things that you're following, and really work one avenue, one platform. This question is for, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I agree with what you're saying there. And I know we'll go into this a little bit further as far as like business pages and things like that. But for me, my relationships on Instagram, I have those same connections on Facebook. And even trying to balance a couple pages on Facebook, I have found that I don't have as much success with. So I personally, 100%, if there's one thing I commit to, it's using my personal Facebook page, because that's one place that I know that I can spend my time and commit my time to.
Perfect. Candace or Rochelle, so what's your philosophy as agents or from other top producing agents that you speak to when adding and deleting friends to your social media platform?
Well, I will just share my personal preference, and this just goes back to when I decided to make Facebook somewhat of a CRM for myself, was adding as many people as possible. So my goal is to add a new person a day to my Facebook. I am particular, and I'll go in and make sure that it's somebody that I have some sort of a connection with, or we have a few mutual friends. I'll look at their page and just kind of make sure that it's not somebody, that I maybe don't want to follow. But at the end of the day, the wonderful thing about Facebook is you can have friends and not actually follow all of their activity. And so there's a way to go in, and maybe it's somebody I don't want to see their posts all the time. Sometimes it's another real estate agent that I know that I'm not going to necessarily get a lot of business from. So, they're not going to ask me to help them sell their property or buy a house. So I don't fret away from that. Because the goal is to spread the audience and have a larger audience, more people that you're working with and that you can reach, so that when they think of Candace, whether it's another real estate agent that I am sending an offer to, they might have seen me on Facebook, or just somebody that's a friend of a friend, they've seen my face and they know who I am in real estate. And over time, it's worked that my goal is to add a friend a day.
So where are you currently at, Candace, as far as?
I think I'm at about 1775. And so I started this in 2016. And that's when I decided that Facebook was no longer just going to be personal for me to stay in touch with friends and family. At that point, I removed a lot of really super personal, pictures of my kids and family that, maybe I don't want all client facing and changed it so that there are you're still going to see pictures of my children and grandchildren that light up my world, but it's not, it's a mixture and it's intentional.
That's great. For me, it's just making sure I've had communication. So I'm a little bit, I guess you could say, all over the board when it comes to Facebook or, Instagram as far as followers. But I have had a communication, because what I find with the algorithm with Facebook is that when I do accept them as my friend, I see their stuff. So I want to be able to have more engagement before I accept them into my circle, if you will. So that's kind of my thing.
Perfect.
And delete.
This is for anyone on the panel. Do you have a weekly or monthly content plan that you use? For example, a 10 by 10 by 10, or every week you're posting comments. Do you have a plan every week?
I need a plan. So
go ahead.
What I do is I do 30 minutes every day. I used to do it in the morning, but I actually moved it to the end of the day, and I'll explain why. But I literally set an alarm on my phone for 30 minutes that I am on Facebook, and I am actively commenting on people's posts and starting conversations. So you'll probably hear me talk about this a little bit throughout this this coffee talk, but the idea of a Facebook mixer, and you're in the room with all of these people and you have the opportunity to engage with them. So I spend those 30 minutes every day starting conversations as if I was in front of someone. I also make a post 4 to 6 times a week and 1 video a month at a minimum. The reason that I moved this to the end of the day is so that I can add friends every day, kind of like that last question. So anyone new that I've met, I'm bringing them into my circle to continue to grow my sphere of influence.
wow, I'm inspired. Yeah. If I'm doing good right now, if I can post once a week as far as content. If I can post once a week something about my personal life or about real estate, that's kind of, but I could do a bit more, Rachel, and you're very inspirational when it comes to that, and be more thoughtful at setting aside the time. I think that's a great idea.
And the biggest thing with those posts too is that they are half personal, half business, because people do want to know you as an individual. And then being business oriented is really just staying top of mind, because they want to feel connected to you, and you are really your brand. And then working with you in the real estate realm is really where they're committing to, and they just need to know how to contact you when the time comes and they want to sell or buy.
And I think another thing is, Rachel has to some of us, we may go, oh, wow, that's a lot, but it's really not, because if you're going into Facebook every day, you're in it anyways. So you should be doing something with it. The other thing is I just set an appointment. So I will have Facebook 30 minutes on Monday, on Thursday, and on Friday, but I also know I'm in it every day as well. So 30 minutes, I can normally find an article, I can find something of value. And I don't know if we're going to go in creating friend lists, but if you haven't thought about that, to get your algorithm up, create friend lists, and then you can utilize it, because a lot of people think, oh, the message isn't applied to these people. Create that friend list and you're going to get more views.
You probably don't have to worry about posting or over posting every day. For an example, for me, it was my birthday last week, and I got a lot of people wishing me happy birthday, and it was really cool. And I saw up there were 98 people, and so I was trying to make an attempt to personally go and thank everyone. And Facebook has this sneaky little way of not letting you even, I don't know if it thought I was thanking too many people, So it didn't show me everybody. And then 5 days later, so last night, I'm scrolling through like I do every day, and I see all these new posts of people that had wished me happy birthday 5 days ago that I wasn't allowed to see. So just because you're posting something doesn't mean that your audience is seeing it right then and there.
And that's probably why we need to do more posting. The last thing I saw was that, that Facebook, for example, that we're competing, anytime we post something, we're competing with 1,500 other people at that moment. So in order to get more eyeballs on it, you might want to consider doing stories and posting it that way, because the algorithm is giving more preference to the stories than they are the Facebook wall posts that you're doing. So that might be a way to kind of circumvent your situation there, Jerry Kay.
Perfect. So how do you post something on social? This is to anybody. How do you post something on social media that doesn't make your followers feel like you're being salesy, like you're trying to sell them something?
Well, I will share, just for me personally, I've never wanted to come off salesy. I want to make sure that kind of my goal is that when you're ready, I'm here. And more than anything is being just a person of service and a resource. So sometimes it's just posting or even sharing. My resources are your resources. I'm in real estate. Take advantage of all the connections that I have. And that is kind of a way to approach it so it doesn't come off as, here I am, who can I, list or help buy a home? That's not necessarily, that doesn't help, but if somebody's hearing that constantly, it's not, kind of goes in and out. But I do think when you offer yourself of service and of help, as well as resource, that is a great way to just kind of stay on top of mind. All of my resources are your resources.
Candace, you had a great example of a post that you had about the cost of rent.
That was, in all honesty, I was sharing with another agent, just trying to show an example. And in all honesty, kind of a little busy at the time with 9 transactions in escrow, was just kind of trying to show another agent, just a simple way to draw an audience. And people love to give you information. They want to share. As weird as it seems, people want to share and they want to help. And so the post was, and I didn't do a lot of thought in it either, but how much are you paying? I need your help. How much are you paying for rent and how many bedrooms? And I was amazed because that post had over, 75 comments and responses. And of course, I know that you're also supposed to go in, and my goal is to respond so that post kind of grows and get information. And my goal is always to try to respond with 3 to 5 words or more. I'm not sure where I got that from, but somewhere it was saying that in commenting, make certain that it's 3 to 5 words or more so that your content is seen. And I actually have a couple that aren't ready to go, but I have 2 people from that post that are pre-approved. And there's probably another 4 that, may be ready at some point, but it's not time. And there you are. Simple, very, very simple.
Anybody else want to comment on that?
I make it about that. So I don't want to, I see a lot of things. Obviously, I have a lot of real estate brokers that I follow and they're my friends. And I get kind of tired of seeing, I shouldn't get tired of seeing listings, but I do. So I like to see posts that are more about that other person. Like, the happy homeowners with their, I'm so excited to sell this home because it has a pool and the kids are loving, going out and jumping in the pool. I mean, a little bit more about them than it is about me and being the hero. So making the client the hero is kind of the idea that I would say, if you're going to post and not be salesy, make it about that client or make it about that situation and not about yourself. And then you won't come off as so salesy.
And
That's a
again, it's
perfect
really
tip.
about staying top of mind in what you do, but still being who you are. So just even little things like had a great client meeting at such and such restaurant, check it out, or got to help a new homeowner buy their first home today. So different things that just say what you're doing and the fact that you're active in the business while still sharing more about you, as opposed to just making it all about your business.
Mhm.
I've even at times, and I've seen this, I haven't done it myself too often, but somebody was out showing and they took a picture of just the kitchen of the home that was just immaculate. And they were like, I was out touring homes today. What do you think about this kitchen? And that one I noticed had tons of feedback and ooh la la's. People love to see what we're doing too.
I've seen some good ones about like random weird things in houses too.
Right. The
That are
funny,
funny.
the toilet that's at the top of the stairs.
Yeah.
Lisa and Rachel, I've heard videos are important in the algorithm. What's the best video or best tip for getting engagement on your social media with this medium, with videos?
You want to go? I can jump in. Video is, I mean, the numbers are really strong, and people, you think about what you do, and a lot of people don't like text. So just remember, you can put a lot of information in a video that you can't put on text. And videos people love to watch. So with that, they estimate you're going to get 60% more engagement in a video than you are in just saying something, because people can also not watch it, but they can hear it. So tips, you've heard multiple things, less than 2 minutes, no more, or 4. It really depends on your medium. I say just do it. Don't be afraid of what you look like. They know what you look like. And people like to see you being human. So with videos, what do you want to watch? Where do you want to watch it? Is it a great view? Is it something you want to do? And just make sure if you're going to do video, have really good sound quality, because I think we've all lived through the videos where the sound quality is just terrible. Rachel?
I think, at least in my experience, the biggest thing with videos is that, especially right now, when you can't necessarily get face to face with everyone that you'd like to, you can still feel like you know someone and you're in the same room with someone. My coach for our marketing plans, I didn't meet until last year, but I've been coaching with her for 3 years. And when I met her in person, I felt like I knew her because I see her videos all the time. And I feel like I have that connection with her just based on getting to see her. And I think that just brings a whole nother level of personalness to it. And again, then you're talking about the algorithm, and it's really number one on the algorithm, and videos are going to be the most seen item out there as well. You also, just by having someone watch it is considered engagement, whereas with posts, you need those comments. So if someone's just scrolling through and not the type of person that normally responds to things, but they're clicking on your video and watching it, that's going to help your video get more views, and in turn get all of your posts to get more views as well.
Perfect. So now we want to talk about the rules about tagging people on Facebook. Who wants to chime in on that?
Ask permission. You don't know where people are going. Some people automatically assume that you've got your settings set up so that you can't be tagged. And unfortunately, some people don't know that. So you've got some private situations, marketing situations, tagging people in your Facebook could also possibly offend another person. I had that where I tagged somebody and I got a private message saying, did you know that this person did this? And it did affect the business. So be very careful, but I say ask permission first.
I have 2 things to say on that. The first one is make sure that your settings are set up so that you approve things that you're tagged in. because you don't know what that's going to be again. I mean, it could even just be a post that's not a picture of you that may, especially right now, for example, have like a political reference or something that, yeah, might in some way impact some of your friends and their views of you, whatever that may be. So number one, make sure that you have your settings set up so that you approve anything you're tagged in. And secondly, it's important to ask permission, but there is something to be said and there are recommendations regarding tagging people. So if you have a family member and you're tagging a photo of the two of you in it, all of a sudden you now have your name in front of all of their friends too. So it is a fine line to tread, and there are certain things that you want to confirm ahead of time. But like the new homeowners just purchased a home, if you get permission to tag them in that photo, all of a sudden all of their friends now see that you are the agent that helped them and have access to you.
That's really good.
That is a good one. Why don't we'll jump into hashtags then. So Lisa or Candace, those of you that use hashtags, how do you determine which hashtags to use on Instagram and Facebook? I know they're used on both platforms.
I think I've noticed that Facebook is not as big on the hashtags. However, because Instagram and Facebook can be linked, a lot of people will start at Instagram anytime they're going to do a hashtag, and it can link to your actual personal or business Facebook, and those tags move over. I've really used hashtags on Instagram based on the amount of eyes that are following. So you can actually go into Instagram under an Instagram account and search tags. And so I will, in all honesty, I will go in before I'm hashtagging, sometimes if it's a new tag, and tag specific. So for example, home on Instagram is huge. There's like probably 176 million under that. However, home ownership is not as big, but it doesn't mean don't tag that. I think it's really important to be specific. If you have a niche, and just keep those tags as consistent as possible for your following. But going by some of the tags that have the most. So maybe it's Home Sweet Home, and I noticed that one only has maybe 1,000 tags with it. I might go to something else, home ownership, real estate lifestyle, home decor is a huge one. I think that's probably one of the biggest ones. So just going into Instagram and searching for tags that are similar to what you're doing, whether it's a listing, it's a sold, it's your own brand. Be aware of your own brand and choosing that. Sold by Candace. You can go in and hashtag that. There should be over 230. That is sold by Candace, and that's mine. However, I just realized there's another agent somewhere who's named Candace, and she's also African American. She's not in our area, but most of those are mine. I think there's maybe 3 of hers. So I almost want to message her and say, can you do something different, Candace? Whatever your last name is.
And I agree. Remember, the hashtags get people who might not be looking at your eyes onto your thing. So hashtag your neighborhood, hashtag like hashtag Lake Taps, hashtag Lake Washington, hashtag luxury home. If you need help with that, they will always give you suggestions. LinkedIn's really great on suggestions. But you know, if you're trying to create, just like Candace said, your own brand, you should hashtag that every single time. Some people will do, you know, I know Chelsea recommends 15 hashtags on Instagram because the goal is to get eyes that aren't on there onto what you're doing. So, you know, and you can cut and paste all the hashtags. If you've got certain hashtags you always want and you don't want to retype them, copy and paste. So Just remember, it's for eyes, and don't forget to hashtag your listings. And I see that a lot of people in Facebook don't do that. And you could own your own hashtag for that neighborhood.
I love the cut and paste tip, Lisa. That was awesome. So to anyone, when do you pay for social media posts, or when should you consider paying? And do you pay third party to help you with your social media?
So I'm totally against paying somebody to help you with your social media. I can almost sense when it's not authentic, and I will and I'm just disinterested in that person altogether if they pay somebody like that to do their social media for them. There's other tools that you can do that will help you, like Buffer, like we're doing Sprout right now. We've got some other different vehicles so that they can make it easy for you, but not for somebody to create content and do it for you. I think that's a waste of money. I think people spend way too much money and then it doesn't become their own. And I've seen plenty of bad examples of people and heard of many thousands of dollars people have paid for social media marketing plans, and that they have not been happy and they've exited. One of them was an agent down in Tacoma, and she paid somebody and signed a contract, and they took over her entire Facebook account, and she couldn't get it back when she wanted to sever the relationship. So be very careful when you're trying to connect with somebody third party to do it for you. I don't think there's a lot of good people. There might be some companies that help you time save so you can get the message out, but I would not let somebody control my content. That is something that you want to hold close to your chest. And then I think the other question you had was, what was it? Oh, consider paying.
When should you consider doing it?
If you're trying to do an open house, like that's becoming a big thing now, that would be something where I would pay and to really boost or get that listing in front of more eyeballs. So that would be when I would actually pay some money to get a message out to more people. Would be like when I take a listing, I would definitely pay the money to do that.
What are your thoughts around, Rochelle, this is to you, just an agent that is maybe a mega agent that doesn't actually have the time to do that, having somebody pay for content just to still have that presence per
To
se.
create the content for you? Yeah, I mean, to have somebody that is very good at, there have been some examples where you have a young, 20 something or that helps you create local content, but it needs to come and be authentic to them. But yeah, I would think you would get more value out of that, paying somebody, a minimum wage kind of thing to help you than it would be to pay a company that's going to try to attempt to build content for you.
Right.
And just remember your authenticity. I've had high school kids and college kids. I give them the parameters of what I want them to search. Realtor.com, Better Homes and Gardens. I can go through a huge list. Seattle Times. And then they're required to send it to me twice a week. And I'm paying, $13 to $14 an hour, and they get 2 hours a week of time. So it cost me $30. And then I do my posting. And it has your brand on it. Now, if you don't want to do that, have several of you guys go in on it and have one person doing your research. But then it's your own stuff. And make sure that if you're going to push an article out, that you read the article, make sure it's not offensive, it won't bother people, and also put your own input in, because just a push on an article doesn't mean much.
Right.
Perfect. So Shannon, can you show the next slide? Rachel has something, it's a helpful guide on the 5 E's of content, if you could discuss.
So this is just an example. If you're looking for ideas or you don't know what direction to take your content, these are things that really help with engagement. So it's called the 5 E's of content. The first one is just education. So if you can bring any additional information to people, they really appreciate that, and that gives you the opportunity to be viewed as an expert. So for example, right now, there's a lot of questions and what's going on. And people are curious what the real estate market's doing. Obviously, like it's been quite hot and it is still a good time to sell and make these moves. And with interest rates where they are, those are all pieces of information that seem like basic knowledge since we're in the industry, but may not be to people out there. So if you can give them updates like this, there's a lot of value in that. Things like affordability and how interest rates are compared to that and what you can purchase. All great pieces of educational information. Entertainment, this is a great way to just be personal. It's a great thing to do in your stories, both entertainment and emotional relatability. So anything you can do to just be fun and build the brand of who you are and show that side of you that make people want to watch more and get to know you on a personal level. Emotional, again, that's just relatability, so that people can feel close to you as a friend. And then engaging, call to actions. This is huge for your algorithm. So asking questions and getting people involved. So for example, I had a post that was, I need a new Netflix show to watch. What do you like right now? And I got so many responses that it actually didn't help because it was basically every show you could think of. But that really helped with my engagement. And I could tell from then on out for a few months, I was getting a lot more visibility and a lot more engagement from people. So I could tell people were seeing my post more. And then the last is exclusive. People want to feel like they're VIP and being your friend. So any behind the scenes, any like first look of a house on the market or blooper reels, just things that are just fun and they feel like they get to see before other people, people see a lot of value in.
Perfect, thank you. That's lots of great information for people. So once you're doing that, how do you obtain more followers on Instagram or get more likes to your business page?
Is that for me?
Anyone?
Well, I know for sure going in and following people is one way to do it. And following and starting engagement, comments, and so forth. And before you know it, they'll be asking to be your friend as well. But starting by just following other people.
But asking for the reciprocation then, like if I have a business page and my business page doesn't have very many likes, the best way to do that would just be simply ask your friend.
Yes, and I think on the business pages, there's the way to request on Facebook, at least I know, to invite people to follow your page.
That's the biggest thing, as we talked about. Start small. Everybody you know should be on your Facebook personal. Everybody in your Facebook personal should probably be following your business page. So just start in little chunks. Make sure the people, the closest sphere around you is actively involved with you, and then move out of your circle.
Okay, so now we're going to move a little bit over to some of the resources that Chicago Title can assist with. There's some really good apps that they have. So Rachel and Lisa, could you show us or share the paid version of Chicago Agent 1 and Breakthrough Broker to assist with infographics or lead generation?
Lisa, you want to take that one?
Sure. So real quickly, if you're on Zoom, I see a lot of you are on video. One of the best things you can do, oh, you can't see it, one sec, is using the screens of with pictures. So you don't know what to post. You need to go onto Chicago Agent. You go touch the premium and you can literally grab a lens. It's now seasonal. I'm just gonna take a quick picture of me.
That's awesome.
And there you go. I'm ready to post. It took 15 seconds. That's it. Post it. Let people see that you're seasonal. So that's a couple things. And I can't tell you how many people make money off these additional calculators. Right now, you're dealing with multiple offers. Right now, you're dealing with the iBuyers are coming back, and they are going to be super strong. So I'm not going to go through a whole thing, but there are some calculators there that you can create, post, and say, are you in this situation? Have you chosen to miss a payment this year? I have an equity calculator that will help you. So there's that. Rachel, you want to take Breakthrough Broker?
Yeah, Breakthrough Broker is one of my favorite resources just in general. If you haven't used it, I basically consider it the search engine of anything real estate. And what's great about it is that you can customize so many marketing pieces for you. So there are great templates, for example, for luxury homes. You get Breakthrough Broker by going to breakthroughbroker.com, by the way. We can set up a referral for you and it's free to use. You just have to make an account. Yeah, so they have templates for listings. They have templates for both Facebook and Instagram. They have the buyer process. They have customized buyer books that you can make in PDF form that you can share on your Facebook or social media as well. So they have so many resources that can help you out with that.
That's perfect. And Lisa, if you guys aren't noticing, she's posting a lot of good websites and places that you can go if you wanted to jot those down. And I believe we have a really good presentation that Rachel came up with that we can shoot out to everybody after the presentation.
And if you
Candace,
have examples of what of more of the information on Chicago Agent, as far as like infographics, they have lead generation calculators, and then they have those filters. We have examples that we can send your way, or we can walk you through at any point what that looks like, maybe in more of a one-on-one setting, so you can decide if you want to set up that. I think you can also do like 1 month free of the premium to get a better feel for it as well. And it's Chicago Agent, which is an app that we have.
Perfect. Candace, how do you get those fun words to show up on your photos when you post to social media?
The fun words. You know, it's funny, there's only a few that I've discovered, but I'm pretty sure I could Google them. But the fun words, it's like best wishes, congratulations. And those are nice ones to post, especially to somebody that you may have not recently communicated with on Facebook, because it does this really fun, exciting little deal. I don't know if you can show an example, Shannon, on your Facebook. Are you able to pull up a Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me a second here. And these are all questions that Jerry Kay's reading from our agents too, which is interesting. These are the top asked questions.
So if you plug in, let's see here. Yeah, so if you go to, there you go. If you go to my page and you go write something to Candace and just do, what's a good one? You've got this. And then, no, don't put that there, just enter. And then do, what's another one? Best wishes. And enter, what's another one? Radness, RADNESS. And then you can post that and it'll show kind of what it does. Mm-hmm. Oh, you've got this, didn't do it. But
one of them's doing it. That's cute.
Well, and then Radness, it does this kind of like doohickey thing. But there's actually a list. It's not a ton, but there's a list of a few of those little fun ones that you can post, and it'll do just kind of like an exciting blip it on the page for that person. So once they see it, it does this neat thing across the screen. It's pretty cool.
Cute.
That's
very
fun.
cute.
scroll down, she puts the post like pending, like on that one. How did you get the pending to show up?
Now that, for those, I use an app, and there's tons of apps, and I just basically take the app, do a collage of some of the nicer photos of the property, and then type, write on that pending, and then I post it. I do my post from my phone, which is really easy. So a couple of different apps I can give that you can use to, there's like Collageable. I'm sure, Rachel, you probably have a couple that you know of that you can tag words to them.
Yeah, I really like Word Swag.
Word-
And they came out with a video one too, so you can make still posts or you can make videos now for that. So Word Swag's a big one I like to use. And then Canva is another one that I've been recommended. I personally stick to Word Swag because it's what I know. But I've heard great things about Canva, and you can make all kinds of marketing pieces on there.
Right. I mean, you can even do flyers on Canva. There's
Yeah.
tons of Canva, but yes. So
That
yeah,
was fun.
yeah, just an app and using that and then post it.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes it a lot more fun, the content more fun. But what if I'm nervous? If I don't do this, I'm just getting started and I'm nervous to post something for fear of what others will comment on, the negativity that comes. How do you get around the negative reviews?
I would like to say that I hated social media before I started using it for business. I remember when they told me that I had to start posting 4 to 6 times a week and I wanted to crawl under a rock. But once I started thinking about it like I was at a mixer, and these are all of the people that I would be inviting to a work event. I have no problem walking into a room and talking to people and engaging with them. And once I started treating it like that, it got a lot easier. So one of the things that you'd have to do at a mixer possibly is stand up on the microphone and tell people like, thank you for coming. This is what I'm doing this year. And that is something that's kind of like posting. It's kind of like making a video. It's not easy the first time, but you do get used to it. And if you keep it positive and you keep it authentic, then hopefully you won't run into negativity. And the more you do it, the more comfortable people will get with it too. So if it's your first video, it's going to be tougher. But if you're like, oh, I did one last week, I did one the week before, they're never perfect, it is what it is, then it becomes fun and it becomes social and you get to build relationships with people you might not otherwise.
Well, and you've got to think of it as prospecting, and some of the best ways that all of us through anything we do is to remove the fear by planning and organizing and practicing. So create a calendar, sit down, give yourself an hour of social media planning. 10 questions that you might want to ask a real estate agent, 10 questions you want to ask a lender, and then build your posts through that. And so by planning it, it's not so hard to jump on and have screen freeze and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's okay, here's my arsenal and library of stuff I want to know, and now I can post. So planning's going to get you over that hump.
For me, it's just, and I agree with Lisa, I think the planning you do, but also knowing that if you get a nasty person, because I have had nasty people, that you can control that. You can go in if it's on your wall and you can remove that person, you can unfollow that person, you can comment back and just be positive and we'll look into it. There is ways for handling negativity and actually making you stand out and that other person looking like a troll. I mean, you don't want to have too many trolls in your life because it will bring you down. But yeah, there is a way within Facebook, at least, to remove those people or remove those troll comments. And
Okay, and here's the little where the internet's starting to come into play. So I hope it's not affecting all of you. I don't know if all of you heard everything that Rochelle just said, but I'm going to ask another question from her because I'm not sure if that's where the internet connectivity is coming from. Rochelle, should I post a story on my wall? I know, and what are some important reasons why I should consider using the stories?
And like I think I said earlier, it's with a story, when you post a story, and my internet connection is unstable, it's going to be viewed twice, and then after 24 hours, the story goes away. So I would say that you're getting more eyeballs on the story because of the algorithm, because you're competing with so many more people, and it's kind of done like Snapchat. And I'm not a big Snapchat fan, but I know that has really helped in prioritizing what gets seen out there. I would consider, incorporating some stories into your marketing plan as well as posting on your wall. That's kind of what I've taken away from the classes that I've attended.
Perfect. And to the panel, in your experience, what are the pros and cons to a business page on Facebook?
Business pages are tough. I've really personally gone back and forth and heard so much different feedback on it. So the biggest challenge that you have with a business page is going to be that algorithm. And they have a much lower visibility than using personal pages. So you are going to get more engagement in your personal page automatically, just based on that algorithm. One thing that I've heard from people is that a lot of times they do want to keep maybe their personal page more personal and their business page separate. If that's the case, if you want to get visibility with your business page, you're just going to take those business posts and share them onto your personal page. What's nice about that too is that it can direct more people to your business page as well. The other huge value in a business page is that it's a really great and easy place to collect reviews from people. So you can get a lot of great testimonials through Facebook, and people really rely heavily on people's reviews, whether they know that person or not who made that review, in validating someone's success. So I think those are the biggest takeaways that I've had. You just have to make sure that you are very on top of your business page and keeping it updated and posting regularly so that you're showing that you are active in business.
And I think I agree. An old business page, if you go to it and the last post was 2018, makes it look like you're out of business. So make sure you're giving as much information as possible to people. And I will tell you, when you are asking for recommendations, as we all have, and it's so much easier to say, I use XYZ window washing, and then people will do a search in Facebook, see XYZ, and if you're not on Facebook, you missed out. And then that makes somebody have to find somebody. So they'll just go window washing and look at Marketplace. So make sure you can be found and post, just like Rachel said.
Perfect.
The benefit is you actually can't pay for advertising on, like, say, your listings unless you have a business account. You can't like say, oh, I have a listing, I'm going to put it on my personal page. Facebook will only take money from the business, not from your personal, when you post.
Good point. Rachel and Candace, who use Instagram, I've heard of agents generating business from Instagram. How do I go about getting that started?
I'll just start first. I think the biggest thing is creating a name for yourself. I think we kind of went over this already though too. It's the hashtag. So get that hashtag, that logo, that slogan that's going to always be on all of your posts on Instagram. A nice catchy name. I kept mine from way back when, just because I feel like it brings personal to it. It's Candy Lady, and a lot of my closest friends and family, which are the biggest supporters of my business and refer people to me, call me Candy. So it's Candy Lady. And I didn't want to change that just because it says, like, yes, she's in real estate, but she's also just an everyday gal, that used to go by Candy. Well, the closest people that know me call me Candy. And I think the only other thing I would really recommend is just being consistent. So if you're going to do it, you've got to be consistent. If Instagram is the route to go, you want to be in there and learning the things that people are doing. That's where you're going to be going in and following, getting followers. And that means you've got to go out and follow people. I also heard thinking outside of the box. You might have a farm that you have a list that you're farming in a neighborhood. You have the names of these people. You should be finding them and following them, because that's in turn going to get them to follow you back. Whatever niche it is that you have, if you're a buyer's agent, if you're a listing agent, capture those words, those hashtags, and hashtag. Rachel said at least 15 hashtags that are specific to yourself, and they can change. And then also too, don't forget to be authentic too. It is your business, but people want to know who you are. They want to know that you have family. They want to know that you do normal things outside of just real estate. So they don't want to have real estate going down their throat every single day. They want to know that you just had a 19-year wedding anniversary. They want to know those things. So that's my suggestion.
I would also recommend setting your Instagram page up as an Instagram business page. It still looks the same to viewers as a personal page, but it gives you additional analytics of just how much success you're having on the page.
Great tip.
Perfect. Lisa and Rochelle, should I start a neighborhood group and be the admin on Facebook?
Oh, you're opening yourself up. It depends on what neighborhood and how much time you want to spend on Facebook. But yeah, that's one way to grow your audience. If you're really wanting to get personal with your neighbors and network, it would be something that would be very hyper local. You would have to get very specific. And then you'd have to put some sort of parameters around who wants to be part of that group. But those Buy Nothing groups, I'll give you an example. There's a Buy Nothing group in Puyallup and then a Buy Nothing group, and there's like 4 of them in Bonnie Lake. And the engagement on the Puyallup is much better than the engagement on the Bonnie Lake. So it's very interesting. It's all has to do with that admin behind the scenes, really prompting those questions and facilitating some of those discussions that take place in that neighborhood. But if you have the time, I mean, you could grow it from only having 50 people to having 1,000 people. There are real estate brokers that have those types of niches created that Candace referred to. So if you have the time, go for it. If you find yourself not wanting to do Facebook, you probably want to avoid it because it's a lot of time that would go into managing it.
Yeah, and once again, it's planning. What's the goal of what's the goal of the page? What are you going to do with it? You've got to know what you're doing. And also, a lot of people will do neighborhoods. Well, the neighborhood HOA may have that. So go into more of a area, which will give you more ideas and more eyeballs. You can't take South Hill Puyallup. That's pretty large, but you could do something around a lake, around a park, just to expand your stuff. And look at the market share of what agents are doing. If this is it, it's a great way to combat market share, but you've got to make sure that people are within that area.
Well, add one thing really.
Go ahead, Candace.
I think that a group is a perfect way. I talk to a lot of agents quite often. They're not from here. They don't have a lot of friends and family that are from here in this location. And I think to gain an audience, that would be the best way, one of the best ways that somebody who's not from here and is trying to connect with people could do that. And that would be, whatever it is you like. I think there's a wonderful example of another a close friend and agent that when the pandemic hit, she created a local parents get resourceful, like, here we go. We're getting ready to go into this pandemic. Our kids are at home, what to do. And do you guys believe that there's like over 7,000 members of that group? And it was genius. at the same time, it's very time consuming for her. She's got to moderate. She's actually now had to bring in other moderators of the group to help her control that. But would you believe that there's a small business Saturday where she can actually market herself and other people in this group, which consists of teachers, psychologists, principals, I mean, wonderful other nonprofit organizations. It's huge and just amazing and genius. And something like that could become so big is wonderful, because now she can go in, those people know her, so she can add them to her business Facebook or her personal Facebook as friends, and now a new audience. So that's one last thing that I wanted to add on that.
Perfect. And coming to the end of our hour, we're a little bit over from this training for lunchtime. One last question to the panel. What's the biggest challenge you see agents facing right now in our marketplace when it comes to social media?
And I would just say it's getting it done every day, doing something. That is the challenge. Just
Like-
kind of feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Nike, just do it.
Screen.
Yeah, just build a plan that you know you can commit to. I mean, if you can't do 30 minutes a day and maybe you start by just doing 2 days a week, or you're not comfortable doing videos yet, but maybe you can start with posts. So it's just building blocks. Just make sure that you're doing something and getting out there.
Perfect. And just like we have on the screen, done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. So we hope you've enjoyed our 1 hour lunch training. And I've certainly gotten several new tips out of this. Make sure you reach out to Rachel and Lisa on getting in touch with the agent one. I'm probably saying it wrong. And Breakthrough Broker, but they can get you hooked up to those things. And then I think we probably have we always like to send out some goodies. So we'll send you out some of the presentation stuff that we have out by email. But thank you so much for joining everybody on the panel and all the agents that are on with us today. So
Thanks for
have a great
having us.
day.
Yeah, thanks